Good morning and welcome back. It's the next day where we're moving on to do the walk. But unfortunately, we've got to the walk place there and it's full of lorries. And look, there's a film crew there. They're filming like some movie or something there. And all the way up as we're coming down past there, we're passing lorries, you know, rental lorries, like sort of thing. And sort of SUVs going up there with blacked out windows. So there's obviously something major going on up there. All well and good, but it's kind of scuppered our plans. So what we're going to do is we've got the next place we plan to go to after this. We expected to do a couple of days here and do a couple of walks at the waterfalls and that. So yeah, we're going to move on to the next section of our plan and move up to a place called Entrago. Welcome back. We've got a bit further down the road and we've come across this place down here, which is some caves. There's a beautiful view in the background there, and if I'll spin you around, we've got sort of, you know, this nice picnic area here. We've parked our bit on the sort of a lay-by bit over there, way back off the road really, a couple of metres back off the road, so he's safe. And it looks like we've got a couple of walks. Now there's some caves here. We're going to walk along in a minute and take you along to have a look from outside. But they're open from July through to September, but closed Mondays. And of course it's Monday, what else would it be? But to be fair, I suspect it's an organised tour, which isn't really our sort of thing. We prefer to wander around, you know, by ourselves and then if we're interested in the history, look a bit online afterwards. But with it being Monday and with it being closed, there's nobody here, and that really is our sort of thing. So I think we're going to go and check up these caves, and then we're going to go and check out these walks which go off into the mountains, go for a short walk, and then we'll continue on to our next destination. Okay, so we're going to take the walk along here by the side of the road up and have a quick look at these caves. We're still seeing film crew and loads of sort of blacked out minibuses and that going up into the mountains, and lorries obviously carrying kit, you know, so much equipment. I thought, I'm sat here with a camera and a microphone and I regularly watch these films and programs on TV, and since making videos I think, sounds a bit crap on that, pictures a bit crap on that. You know, all that equipment going up there, you would have thought they'd be able to produce a decent pitch and decent sound quality, but it doesn't necessarily so. Okay, so it's definitely closed, because I've got a feeling if you just walk away a little way along here, we might be able to give you a little bit of a view of it. Just be careful, you know, on this road here, that we don't get knocked down by Al Pacino or Robert De Niro or something. Okay, yeah, there we go, quite a good view. Looks like it'd be quite a good tour going into there. It's over there straight ahead. Some more sort of down in there, and it looks like it goes right down into the bottom there as well. Really deep gully all the way through here. Beautiful pass to come down through first thing in the morning, although you have to be really, really careful. Okay, let's retrace our steps and go and look at the walks. So we're back to this sign again. We're going to have a little wander. I had a quick look earlier on at this sign up here. There's about 3 different walks, and I think we'll probably just take the shortest one out of the 3. Oh, nice little start to it. So that's a constant climb. As usual, a bit of a shock to the system first thing in the morning when you first get up and start walking. Yeah, we just stopped for a quick breather and now we'll carry on. We've still got to climb here. So I know absolutely nothing about this walk. We've just sort of fell upon it as a sort of an afterthought after failing that last walk. Come across another little fuente here. Yeah, just might take me a while to fill the magic watering can up from that. It was slow enough last night. So we just stopped for a quick rest. Anthony's feeling a bit today. She's been cooped up in the motorhome for about 3 days whilst I was editing, and then when I went on that bike push and carry the other day. But yeah, she's starting to feel it, and we're still trying to make it not a particularly nice subject through that first sweat you get when you go and you work out, and you're thinking, oh my god, you know, and then you sweat and then you get past it and then you start to feel all right. we haven't hit that moment yet. So yeah, still climbing up into the mountains. Thought we could hear a dog barking. It seems to be, no matter where you go in Spain, you go in the middle of nowhere, there's always a dog barking. So you've got a large dog, down to Pyrenean mastiff, I think, but not an expert. Well, there's another one down there. He's really big. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, wagging his tail, so he's obviously happy. Ah yeah, look, they're guarding the cows. Lovely little building, look at that beautiful little spot just up there. What a lovely place for a house. I don't know how the hell you get to it though. Getting a bit of shot, Anthony's getting some photos of the cows and that, and we've got company here. Look, she's doing her job. She's her job to look after the cows. She's had a little bit of a touch of a growl as we walked away, just to warn us, you know.
Yeah, keep going.
Keep going, and she's just doing her job. I'm not a big fan of dogs. Used to be in the UK, but since you know, living in Spain, so much noise over the night, you know, with dogs barking. But when you see, you know, working dogs doing their job, that doesn't bother me so much. It's just the unnecessary noise of dogs owned by irresponsible owners. You know, just leave them barking all night and expect their neighbours to put up with it. But yeah, don't mind that at all. See now, look, we've passed and we've left the cows behind, and the dogs more or less stopped. So earlier on, I think it was in the last video, I did touch on this. I said we're going up to bear country, and we are actually in bear country now, and which is the need, not so much for the bears, but there's also, you know, a couple of thousand wolves up here as well, and hence the need for the protection of these large Pyrenees dogs, you know. So yeah, they're here for a reason, and are there, you know, to protect cattle and livestock from predators, basically. I only ever seen a bear in captivity here since I've been up here, but we do plan to do later on, probably in the next video. We're going to go up to a common spot where you can actually view bears go by in the wild. Now, no, look, we're not going to see anything, but we'll give it a go anyway. And we've got a signpost, so we've got to make a decision. Okay guys, we're going to get some options. We first looked at this one as La Plaza, thought we don't want to go into the middle of the village, and it's quite a long way. We've got the caves that way, Mark, where we've just come from. Something I can't pronounce going up there, but what we have seen is San Salvador and the Park Prehistoric, which we've actually seen noted a little way out, and plan to actually visit on bicycle, which is outside this what is actually normally in Spanish Entrego, but obviously they've got their own local pronunciation of it here. Now Entrego is obviously 7.5 kilometres, which is where we're going to go next. But I think let's go and have a wander around and have a look at this prehistoric park, 2.6 kilometres. So, and that's going to take us down here. Are you up for that? So Anthony's just picking her way down this last little step, this rocky bit. Looks like these rocks have actually been bedded into the path to give you some sort of grip. Well, 2.4 kilometres to the park. I thought that's what it said up there. Or was it 2.6? Yeah, I don't know. Well, we can rewind the video anywhere and check. Yeah, so we'll carry on a bit. I said Anthony she didn't need a stick, but I managed to buy her a new one, walking stick on the way back down. So yeah, we're all good. So we're at the bottom of this little bit, leveled out a bit. So if that's the only climb we've got to do, then that's great. So we've started to travel down again, and it's down. We're going to go to the bottom of this, but if it keeps on going down much more, then yeah, we're going to bin it, because we don't, like we said, we don't want a lot of dramas today. We've had quite a few activities which have got really hard and not gone according to plan, and therefore not particularly enjoyable, and we don't want this to turn into one of those again. So yeah, we'll go down a bit further and go down, but of course we've got to climb all this on the way back up. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Okay, so we've just gone around the corner, it's going down to that tree, and there's no guarantee that when we get around that tree it's not going to go down some more. So I think we're going to call it today. You know, we don't want a lot of fuss, we want a nice steady walk in the morning. We were only planning on doing a couple of kilometres, which was going to, you know, go up to 7. But yeah, we don't fancy lugging all the way back up that on the way back. So just caught our breath again. Same old thing, said it 1,000 times, no idea of incline on camera, but that is super steep. So we're back down by Hobbit. We did put the cameras up. We've got them, so we may as well stick them up just for a bit of extra security, but he looks unmolested. So what have we done in steps?
6,120.
And what's that work out in kilometres?
About 4 kilometres.
About 4 kilometres. And what was your maximum heart rate?
Oh, I didn't check at that one. Hang on, it's going to not be that high. 120.
120 maximum heart rate. That's not bad going. Okay, so we're going to leave this place behind. We're going up to Entrago. We've only been past it once on the Senda del Oso with our bicycles. It was very busy, a bit touristy, and it was sort of motorhome hell in the car park there. So I don't think we'll be staying there, but we're going past there. And we're going to go around the corner to a place called Barthana and check that out, because before it's quite quiet, a bit off the trail, you know, just a little bit out the touristy bit, but good parking, you know, and good facilities. All the facilities from this point on are even better than they were before. Every major village, you know, and not particularly big villages, has a free motorhome service point, you know, so it's really easy to motorhome in this area. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, so we've arrived at our destination for today. We're at the bottom of the industrial estate in Barthana. Not really sure if we can park here. Every time well, a couple of times we've come here, it's been deserted and there's never been anybody in this car park. There is a little sign over there, it's faded, you know, old, says, you know, it's for customers and clients only, and you know, due to the barrier getting closed at night. Well, for me, if they close the barrier at night, great, brilliant, that stops late arrivals, so that suits me fine. And you know, are we customers, are we not? I don't know. You know, there's the entrance to the Senda del Oso. We've come to go on there. So are we tourists who are going on that, or are we customers? It's a bit one of them. So I think what we've decided to do is we're just going to chance it. As you go up towards the road, sort of in the reverse there, you go up that road there and come out through the barrier. There's a top car park. It's next to the road, but I mean, it's not a busy road at night, and we're out of the village a little way. So if someone does come and say, no, you can't park here at night, you know, then we can move up to there. We have got another option. The last park up, which I didn't talk about, was good. I didn't mention that because we left there about 7:45. We were ready to go at 7. We hung around to wait for the other motorhomes that were up there. There was a few of them, and they had the decency to be quiet and arrive at a decent time. So we returned the decency and didn't, you know, wake up early and start diesel engines and that before they woke up. But once I sort of heard them banging around and moving around inside the motorhomes, we started the engine and left. It was a good park up, good night's sleep. There was a constant donging of bells all night. It was. There must have been animals moving around with bells around their necks, but it sounds a bit like wind chimes, so it's quite nice to sleep to. And yeah, we got a really good night's sleep. Good morning and welcome back. We're up after a pretty decent night's sleep here on the edge of Barthana. We're going to get on with this ride in a minute. We're taking Dutch and we're taking Pebbles. Dangerous Pine's going to stay because this isn't going to be a particularly difficult trail. So let's get on with the trail and I'll fill you in as we go along. And we're off. Okay, so this ride we're going on today is the Senda del Oso, or the Track of the Bear. This trail follows an old railway route. In this case, if I believe if my memory serves me right, it was a coal mining route for actual trains to go along. So as such, there's normally no more than a 2% gradient, which makes it a really good ride. I've got to say, the Senda del Oso, the parts I've done in the past, have probably been some of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful, trails and enjoyable trails I've ever been on. They're absolutely stunning. So with Senda del Oso trails is basically not one trail, it's actually one trail that then divides into two, sort of a wonky Y it is. People tend to do the middle sections first. Of course, it's a long tunnel. Yeah, people seem to do the middle sections first. Oh, thank God for the lights. Yeah, like I say, people seem to do the middle sections first. I will get this out in a minute. I'm getting complaints from behind. It's dark and I don't like it. You right back there? Okay, let's try again. So yeah, the most popular sections are the centre sections of the Y. There are places to hire bikes all the way along here, at all the ends, and actually several situations along the middle as well. And the most popular section of all is between Entrago and the recreation area on the outskirts of Proatha. The reason for that is what people do. It's quite entertaining, but I can hardly criticise because I've got a motor on my bike. Because there's a gentle incline down from Integro to the recreation area there at Pro Afa, people like to just hire the bikes at one end, sort of more or less freewheel all the way down to the other end. It's about 16 kilometres if I recall correctly, and then get off. And what they do then is they put the bikes onto trailers, put people in minivans, and then take them back up to Integro again. Again, you know, it's what you want to have a bike ride, isn't it? And it's a good thing to do if you haven't ridden a bicycle, you know, for years. Now, I think we're across here again. Or are we down here? No, it looks like we're across here. Now, just out of interest, this is a park up which I have my eye on, which I found. It's not on Park for Night, but I spotted it through Google Maps and it looks good. So this looks like this will be our park up for tonight. Yeah, a bit more out of the way. And we're coming up to what they call a cargo door, which is a loading bay for trains. So obviously the trains, we see this a lot. If you follow my videos, you would have seen these many a time because I like to follow old mining routes. This is where they would have taken the trains underneath it and then loaded them, normally dropping in from above. So we'll stop and have a quick look about it. There's underneath. Yeah, I don't really know what they would have loaded in from here. I mean, looking up, normally where we go, and it's in areas where there's iron ore and they've got like big hoppers and they just drop in, you know, down a hillside in through the top into the tops of the wagons of the trains. But I don't know what this is, but yes, beautifully built. And I suspect, I should do some research on it later, but I suspect it's probably late 1800s, early 1900s. Okay, so we'll soon we carry on along here. So we'll get back on the road if we can. Anthea's been sensible and gone back the way she came in. Oi. And I assume we're following this route along. So the Senda del Oso is part of a network of trails going through Spain. They're part of the Via Verde, which is green way trails which go through the whole of Spain, south to north. Everywhere you go there'll be a Via Verde. And the reason for that is they're converted disused railways. There's over 7,000 kilometres of disused railways here in Spain, and about 3,200 of that has actually been converted into greenways, which are bridleways. Now they're for leisure use only, non-motorised vehicles. Before you think it, that the e-bikes aren't included in that. E-bikes are classed as non-motorised vehicles or bicycles basically, so they are allowed to go on it, and I have checked various sites just to make sure we are allowed to go on Via Verdes with an electric bike, and you can, as well as sort of invalid carriages and I suspect electric scooters as well. So I'm not sure if we're on the right route. I can't really see any other route we could have gone on, because this is unless we were meant to cross over where that gate was. Maybe we should go back. Do you want to go back, Anthea? Okay, so rewind to this parking area we really liked, and we did miss the signs. We thought it might have been going through that gateway there, but it's obviously somebody's property. We went up that road there, but now we've turned and looked here. Look, we've just found this little sign chucked under a tree here, and the sign up there. And as we can see, Camino Natural de la Senda del Oso. So yeah, we're going to go along here. There's a pretty good bit of a map here, and I think we're going up to the end. We are Recabo is the end or the start, depending which way you're going to do it, of the Via Verde on this section. So let's crack on. Okay, this looks nice. Recabo is this way, 6.5 kilometres, so we're already going further than we thought, because I got it on the map as 5. So the plan today is to travel what was meant to be 5 kilometres, but now looks like it's more going to be like 7 to Recabo and find the start of the route on this section. Then we're going to turn back round, go all the way, retrace the sticks, and go all the way up to the reservoir, which we ended in a previous video. And then we've actually basically completed this whole section of the Senda del Oso. What I'd like to do, I don't like to leave trails incomplete. We've done the most popular ones where all the tourists go, and now we're just going to do the finishing ends of the trail, which aren't so popular and the tourists don't go on so much, which usually turn out to be the most enjoyable ones. Right, that dog you can hear in the background there is the one I could hear in the night down below when we were parked up. It wasn't all night, just occasional, but it's still annoying. Just keep riding down for you. Okay, so we're at this junction. Here we come. I don't know if this is coming off the original railway line now at this end, and they've just extended it to, you know, Senda del Oso. So that's the trail going down there, but we've actually seen, look, we've got some signs here, and the Recabo, which, you know, is where we're meant to be going, is actually up this slope. Okay, it doesn't look anything again on camera, but it's quite steep. We'll give it a go, but if it gets too silly again, we're going to turn around, because we want a gentle bicycle ride today, and we'll probably just come back down and go along this, but let's give it a go. Yeah, it's quite steep. We'll wait for this little flat bit and see if Anthony makes it up as well. I've got to say, I'm looking ahead and I'm thinking it's a no. Right, just stop there. I think it's going to be a no, don't you?
Yeah, no, it's too skiddy.
Yeah, we're looking up there. It's getting quite higher and higher and higher, and I think it's going to be a trail, and it's a bit skiddy. So, yeah, we'll turn back round and we'll follow this track down. Okay, so we've just had a little bit of a debate about this, and we were thinking maybe go along that trail, but we really want to stay on the Senda del Oso. So I think what I'm going to do for reference purposes for people who want to ride the Senda del Oso, if you're a serious cyclist, you could probably scramble around up and down that, you know, but if you want to, you know, do it on a cycle leisurely, I will say this is basically here is a start point where you'd want to, you know, start up this bit here. The start where it's decent rideable without, you know, having to be a more experienced cyclist. So we're going to count this basically as a start point, and we're going to carry on along, but retrace our steps a bit and go towards the reservoir. Having feels like it's really scary, and it's a bit disconcerting as well. Only half the bulbs are working through here, and there's real dark patches in some of it, and you can't see what's in front of you or anything. Yeah. Okay, so we're back by the stream again, which is a nice bit. So I think that more or less, you know, it makes us realise why this section is not particularly popular. It's not a riding way really. It turns into sort of hiking really, or sort of technical cycling trail. So yeah, that explains that. So we got to the bottom of that at least. So back on the Senda del Oso, we're following the river, which I believe is a river Trubia at this stage, and we'll head back towards the reservoir. Okay, we're just passing the point where we parked Hobbit. Yeah, sat on his own, no one's bothering him. This is one of those deceptive bits. I know we're rolling and we're freewheeling down, but it seems flat. But obviously, yeah, we are rolling down on sort of that 2% gradient. Oh, little wooden bridge over the stream. So we've come to a bit of crossroads. I thought I wanted to go up there, but actually Anthony has spotted the sign down there, so we've got to get off across the road apparently. So let's go down there. Yep, there we go. Camino Senda del Oso. We'll cross the road to where we've got another sign. We've got an arrow on it. What are we saying? Embalsa, this way. Embalsa de Val de Muriel. Okay. Yep, so here we go. A bit of road then. Doesn't look like for far. Just a small section if we've got to take a right here. Look, it's tucked under this tree here. Yeah, this is it. Here we go. Whoa. Don't look down, Anthea. She didn't. Yeah, it's a bit in it. Little wooden bridge over a great steep gully. We've just been talking about a trail I was spotting out by satellite, so possible parking things, and this was one of them around here. Anthea just spotted it from above, and now it has confirmed what I was saying. It's a route to a cemetery. Cemeteries are often good parking places here in Spain with a motorhome. But I normally like to do it when there's a lot of parking. Last thing you want to do is, you know, bother mourning and grieving relatives who are trying to visit their loved ones, you know, by blocking up the entranceway and things like that. But often the car parks are huge. You can actually get right to the back of them, out of the way, a piece that nobody ever normally uses, you know, and be quite discreet and, you know, be respectful, and it's perfect for parking. So what we got here? It's like something to do to control the water at some time. Okay, we've come out at the end of that and there's nothing. Nothing at all, no signs, nothing. It's fairly typical. You do get this a lot in Spain if you watch my videos, and I suppose anywhere. In the past, you get a lot of signs, often where it's completely obvious, you know, where you're going to go, what direction you're going to go. And then when you come to a major junction where it's not and you need the signs, they're completely absent. And this is a classic example of that. I can't see a sign anywhere. So yeah, let's go where that guy's just come from down on the bicycles and see if it's up there. I'll ask them actually. Senda del Oso? Yeah. Gracias. Yeah, here as we go down here. So I just asked that Spanish couple who came on the bicycles the other way which way, and he says, yeah, down here on the right. And yeah, see one more little sign there. It looks like we're on the pavement. Not for long now, I think. I can see the trail going off up there ahead. Okay, so this is some sort of museum here that we're passing. Try and give you a little view of it. And this is another place we look potentially for parking. Yeah. This bit opposite over here on the right, I'll show you when I get a bit nearer. So yeah, here on the right, always never seen it with many cars in it, and we've passed, and that looks perfect for parking again. It highlights when you're searching for places that are parked for the night, the importance of switching over to satellite view. There's nothing here on the normal standard map from Google Maps, but if you switch it to satellite, it soon opens up a whole load of extra parking spots like that. I mean, just look, you get right in the corner there with the motorhome. This isn't a busy road at night, so yeah, perfect stop. Okay, I think I just saw some hikers, so let's take it steady. Gracias. Seeing a lot more hikers on this section. The busier sections, like I say, in season probably aren't much fun if you're a hiker. There's a lot of cyclists, many of them inexperienced, probably haven't ridden a bicycle for years, going along them, you know, we were there on holiday. And yeah, I actually think you're constantly dodging bicycles going along. If you want to have these trails sort of to yourself, the bicycle hire shops open about 10:30, and then of course, you know, it'll take people half an hour to get it sorted out and everything and get on the trail. So if you could get on these trails early on your own bicycle, you know, say at 8, 9 o'clock and go on the ride, you could be done before they even start hiring bikes and coming on them, and it's relatively quiet. Okay, and this crossroads where we're meant to stop and look. Yeah. Okay guys, I had to stop to show you this bit. It's absolutely stunning. Some stone steps here. Look at that. Coming down, I'll take some photos of you. Don't slip on filming. Okay, we're off again from that quick stop. Continuing on to the reservoir, which I think is probably where we'll have our sandwiches and our break. Quite a bit to show you there, so hang in there. I want to really take care along here. There's plenty of foliage to catch you, but it's down to the stream below. It's a good sort of, what, 60-70 metre drop down sort of this side here now. I can't see what Anthea's doing, but I suspect she's right on the left and not looking. Right, we've got to be careful here. Right. We've got Ruta Difícil and Ruta Fácil. Route easy and route difficult. Should we try the difficult? And if it's too bad, we turn back round. Okay. Okay, we're going to try difficult first and see what that entails. Okay, so we just realised we were at the reservoir and we've come around the back of it. I think we might have come around the back of here before and took that turning down to the Fácil, you know, direction as well when we came from the opposite direction there. So we're here. It's looking very drained here. They hire kayaks out, which, you know, looks quite good usually, but that's certainly not going to happen today. They won't be doing that at the minute. Yeah, it's really drained. I'll stop in a minute and give you a view when I find a viewpoint. Okay, and this is a difficult direction because it's steep, and it is steep. I'm in the wrong gear actually now. It should be in a lower gear, but we just have the motor will just have to check out the strain. Hello. This guy done just open his door here. So this little cafeteria here down by the reservoir, not particularly expensive if I remember rightly. Obviously they've got the kayaks, you probably saw them a minute ago when we just passed and entered this area. But obviously there's not going to be much kayaking going on here now. Yeah, I emptied it for some reason, can't think why, but had plenty of rainfall this year. But yeah, that's a shame. Normally, I mean, it looks really minging at the minute and, you know, full of weed and all sorts, but normally that's got sort of a nice turquoise colour to it. When we've been there in the past, I don't know, I might be able to take some photos out of previous footage. So anyway, nevertheless, a nice spot for a sandwich. So we'll probably have a sandwich and a drink and then we'll move on. Okay, so we're leaving that picnic area. What we decided to do is we're going to go a bit further along because there's a particularly interesting bit. There's a narrow tunnel that goes through, actually diagonally over the top of the main tunnel that goes through the hill, which is the car tunnel. So we're just going to have a quick look at that. So we have previously filmed this. If you go to the channel and actually go through the Northern Spain Adventure section 2023, you will see that we filmed the Senda del Oso, the two very popular sections, and the section from the Pro Alpha recreational area to here is on there. It's part 2 I think, and part 1 is from the Pro Alpha recreation area to Integral. So they are the best sections and they're very beautiful. There's lots of tunnels. You know, it follows the river along basically on a little ridge on the edge of the cliff, and it goes through various tunnels. There's probably 30, maybe even 40 tunnels that you're constantly going through. It's brilliant. Okay, so there's the main tunnel here where the cars go through, and we're going to go up the side of it and through this little tunnel you can see up ahead. We're going to go through that and diagonally over the top of it. And there you can see we're sort of the other side now of the road, looking down on it. And so that brings us to the end of our ride. It totaled about 24 kilometres, and it's also answered the question, you know, what's beyond the reservoir further down this way. Now I'm thinking, you know, where we are on just the edge of this industrial estate, it's still a good place to start. It's still very pretty, but it certainly isn't as sort of breathtakingly pretty and doesn't have the wowing factor of the Pro Alpha to Entrago route. Or even the the Pro Alpha to the reservoir route. But it was worth doing nevertheless. I think you could probably, if you really wanted to go, as far up to the Cargadora, but beyond that really I think it's going to be hiking, although I might take Dangerous Brian up there later on the week. We'll have to wait and see. Now we're a bit undecided what we're going to do now. We'll come back, we're going to get all the bikes packed away. We may go and empty our services because that's nearby. We don't desperately need to do it, but they're local and they're nearby, so you know, good to take advantage of them. We're thinking about parking near the Cargadora, but the sort of the dogs we heard in the night was actually a stupid sheepdog thing you saw chase us, you know, as we went by that farm, and also another dog that's, you know, sort of higher up echoing. I'm pretty sure they're the same dogs we were hearing sort of intermittently in the night, not a lot, but obviously if we get closer to it, that's going to be a problem. So I don't know, we may go just drive around there, park and listen. And if that's not good, I think then we may go down to opposite the museum, which we saw on the ride also. Good morning and welcome back. We've changed park up as we said yesterday. We decided against the park up at the Cargador because those dogs were quite nearby and we could hear them from the previous park up, which was even further away, so we didn't want to risk it. Plus, after we'd been to the little mini market in the town and done our services, we were pointing out this way towards the museum anyway, so we thought we'll give it a try here. Now, we didn't have a great night's sleep here, but It was nothing to do with the park up and that. I'll tell you about it more later. It was a really weird one, you know, sort of almost dream-like situation. And so that brings us to the end of part 3 of our Northern Spain Adventures 2025. In part 4, we'll be riding from this car park deep up into the mountains to visit a beautiful little church. From there we move park up to an even higher point up in the mountains and enjoy a beautiful walk that looks across to the old chapel we'd just visited. So all that remains is to thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss part 4, and I'll see you next time.